Hello, welcome to TreuHand Architecture and Design. I'm Jamil Simbabi, Principal Architect, MD of TreuHand, and I'm going to show you what we do here. So this is our presentation room. We call it the experience room. So we have a client currently who's experiencing his building. Attached to this video, I'll try and give you what he's seeing at the moment. He's actually looking at buildings that we designed for him, and he's going through the whole experience, adjusting them. You can come here and look and see what he's looking at the moment. You see, so he's working on the buildings. You see, he's adjusting the height. You know, all of these things we do them in real time. Real time because we're trying to avoid mistakes on site. Through my experience, I started in furniture before moving into interior design and then construction. I'm an architect, by the way, but one of the things we noticed a lot is a lot of clients come to sites and they make a lot of changes. Why do they make those changes? Because what they saw in the drawings isn't exactly what they thought it would come out to be in real life. And sometimes a lot of clients cannot read drawings. So when you're giving them a lot of documents, papers, floor plans, sections, elevations, they don't understand all of that. They want to see what their building is going to look like and how it's going to come into being. So we have a client here, real time. He's experiencing his building, he's making changes, but this is actually our most expensive package. And I know money is always the problem, but this is the full design and build interactive package for clients who really know what they want. We offer design packages, we offer consultation. Consultation means we supervise your project, help you guide every decision you make throughout that process from the beginning to the end. Whether it comes down to procurement, procurement planning, international orders, coordinating the mechanical, electrical, engineers, and all of these people. We believe that architects are the ones at the head of the design process. They supervise everything. If there's anybody you want to be on your side in the project, you want the architect, you don't want anyone else, not the engineer, not some QS or some random interior designer that doesn't really know all the details of what you want to achieve. We have here, I can't go out of this space without talking about our architect wall. So this wall just shows some of the people who have inspired us here at TreuHand. And these are all great architects. I'm sure everyone knows Zaha Hadid and a famous center, Haidar Aliyev Center. And then the mentor, huge mentor, Frank Gehry is one of the greatest architects. Fun fact about the Guggenheim Museum, he sketched this on the serviette when he was at the restaurant and he was talking about it, and he sketched the whole facade there. We have one black architect here, which is quite sad, unfortunately. But we have David Ajayi, he's a Ghanaian, very prominent, and he's inspired so many other people. We don't have Francis Kere here, but Francis Kere is also an architect that we're really, really inspired by. So I'm going to go past him, but that doesn't affect what he's doing because he's working in VR, like we said. This building also, very interesting, the Royal Ontario Museum. It was done by Daniel Libeskind. Libeskind is one of the most inspirational architects of the 20th century, right? So if you look at this building, it's like a juxtaposition of two different styles. You can see this is more like classical and this is like very radical. So it's kind of a deconstructivist building. So, and of course, let's not forget Anthony Gaudi, the famous. Welcome to the operations room. This is where we give birth to all our projects, right? So these are operations manager. We're on break. You're shooting this video, I'm sure you didn't tell them. You're shooting this video on December 25th, which is Christmas Day, but like, we're all about satisfying our clients, making sure that we deliver regardless of the obstacles that we have. And that's why even when we have breaks or short holidays, we have people who are very committed to still be available to deliver these projects. I'm going to show you one of the most important parts of what we do here, which is this board. Now, when delivering projects, a lot of things changes during the project life cycle. For example, you can start a project and think that it's going to be a 3-bedroom bungalow. In the course of the project, the client can come up to an idea when you've gone past the foundation and say, oh, he wants to see how he can make it 4 rooms or something like that. And we found out that a lot of companies, a lot of organizations make these mistakes, and we were also making a lot of these mistakes. And that's why we developed our change document sheet. So you see this is just one project, and these are all the details regarding the project. I can start from the layout. This is the layout. Before we come down into the floor plans, If you see these red lines, that means we've made changes to those places, you know, that means we've taken those walls out. And these are the processes that happen throughout the whole project, you know, door schedules, window schedules. See, if you have an architect who's not doing all of this for you, like, just run away. Do not waste your time. Like, the guy is going to take your money and just do rubbish. So I'm telling you facts, and I'm not trying to push my business. And we can come all the way here. So if you see this, if you can zoom in a bit, you see project change management documents. So since the project started, every time the client comes to the site, he gives us one thing that he thinks we can improve. And at TreuHand, we're not people who just feel we want to do things our way. Everything we do is centered around the client. So it's all about making sure that the client is happy at the end of the project. And how do we do that? We make sure the client is inclusive in the design process. You understand? And when you have a client inclusive in the design process, at the end of the project, they feel like the project is truly theirs. It's nobody's project. It's not the architect's project, it's truly theirs. So you can see so many lists of changes that we've made, and this paper is only going to get longer. And we used to have all of these things, soft copy, you know, WhatsApp and all that, but I feel like what you see, you remember, and that's why at TreuHand we're very visual with everything. We also have materials. So when clients come in, certain times they need to make changes on certain parts of the home. We give them options where they can actually choose the right materials, and then we can get them for them and install. This is actually MFC, this medium fiber melamine face chipboard, and this is MDF, which is medium density. You see much that's happening here. That's the dark room, the black room for the accountants, because you know it's all about privacy for what they do. All right, welcome to the room where deals are made. So you don't come in here except you're coming to, you know, conclude, pay commission, pay your design consultancy, and that's where we get to sit. And this is my office. This is where we do the discussions, and this is where we close deals. All right, so I'm also going to show you like some actual projects, for example, and this is what people don't know. When you're actually building a project, you're going to go into a lot of detail. We do the panoramas and 3D for the clients to be able to better understand their project. But when you're going for approvals, these are what you need to submit, you know. These are the kind of drawings you need to submit. All details, site plans, you know, floor plans. And we can even go as far into the elevations and sections, and then we can go into the mechanical, electrical drawings, and then plans. For me, plans are the generator, because from the plan, every other thing starts. So you have to be able to make sure you get your plan well, you know, and make sure that it works. Make sure the space organization works. For example, sometimes in some living areas, you have no wall to put the TV units, because everywhere they put a lot of windows. So that's where a real architect comes into design. For example, if you're working on a bedroom, you should have, and you want to have a full floor to ceiling headboard, you should be thinking of how you can have no windows on that wall, you know, and that all starts from this. So I'm just going to close this video up with the fact that the journey to your dream home doesn't have to be a nightmare, you know, like just imagine you're building your dream home, or you bought a carcass building, or you have a building you want to remodel or something, or you want to do design and build. That means you don't have any, you just have the land you want to build and get a project that's going to be delivered turnkey. How do you want that experience to be? Think about it. Do you want it to be hectic? Do you want to be haggling with tilers, with people advising you on what wood to use, what doors to use? And obviously, never forget that all of these people are just trying to sell their business. They're just trying to sell their business, try to sell to you the tile that they feel they're going to make the best profit off. They're not really thinking about your project. And that's the difference at TreuHand. We think about your project. We make the best decisions for you. And we want to make sure that your journey to your dream home is something that you actually enjoy, right? So just think about it. I'll give you a simple example. If you're going to, if you have a headache, you're going to go to a pharmacist. But when that headache persists, when you go to the doctor. So TreuHand is the doctor.